Hey there guys, I'm up on Lake Charlevoix here in northern Michigan. This is a really cool job site that we built a couple years ago, and we're doing a site visit today to check in on it. All the annuals and everything were just installed yesterday for the summer show of color. And I wanted to tour you guys through and show you this awesome landscape that we did and put together here right on the shores of Lake Charlevoix. It's super gorgeous. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Let's dive in. All right, so we're gonna walk and talk you guys through this really cool landscape, this beautiful home here right on the shores of Lake Charlevoix. They're new owners of this home, and they hired Kevin. This is my buddy Kevin Pearsall of KP Landscaping. They hired us to come in and revamp and revitalize this landscape. It was a pretty cool landscape, and there were some neat elements, but there was also some things that were really tired or just super outdated or failing. There was a lot of drainage and water issues and stuff like that. In fact, what was it? We found an irrigation head that was
under the concrete.
Under the concrete, like shooting water into the foundation of the house. So some things that definitely needed to be redone and rethought. A complete overhaul of the irrigation system was in order from day one. A lot of grading and changes to the back, and a ton of hardscape changes. So we'll walk you guys through what we did. Right off the bat, we feature some beautiful aquapots. There's a ton of gorgeous aquapots throughout this whole property. Those are all of our self-watering, beautiful ceramic pots. They do really well, just watered once a week, and the plants are just thriving. This island bed here, this was here, all these birch trees were here. The cotoneaster was here. We just sort of added some cool little features, like these new little eyebrow walls is what I call them, just to sort of enhance that bed a little bit, give it a little bit of new, new feel to it. Here, these maples were here, but they were planted like super high, and these like volcanoes. Yep. There was like a volcano of mulch around them and then just grass. So we brought the bed up to the crown height of where the trees were planted and built these teeny little walls here and kind of tiered these two beds out. And really it was a function of responding to how these trees were planted, because we wanted to keep the trees, but I think it turned out
beautiful.
Awesome. And these just nice little teeny accent walls, and just woodland ground cover beds. They really need no maintenance at all, and just filling in beautifully. All this stuff was just planted last year. Was that last year we did this? Yeah, last year. And look at these astilbes. Nice big bank of astilbe there, filling in beautifully. I can't believe we just did this last year. It seems like time warp, But the boxwood are all looking really nice and filling in.
New sidewalks.
Yeah, all this sidewalk, that's right. This was all concrete, right? Yeah,
all concrete.
It was all concrete, so all this stuff got hammered out of here and hauled out of here. And we went with a sand molded brick. I'm actually installing this exact same brick on Mackinac Island on a project next week. Yeah, this same brick, which is cool. And then the Brussels block from Unilock as the soldier course. Really cool combination there. Simple pattern, but I love the way this turned out. Super cool, and a fast lay too. That running bond pattern like that. Just fill this all right in, and it looks sweet, flowing through all these walkways. And then we used natural stone. This is called Fond du Lac Silver from Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. For our staircases, more of those little eyebrow walls in the back here. These walls were all these just big outcrop chunks of an older limestone. And as you can see up here, this older limestone, this was probably out of that old quarry in Onaway or something. Yep. There's a Michigan quarry in Onaway that was quarrying a tremendous amount of landscape limestone in like the 80s and 90s. which is, I'm sure when this was done, probably in the
Yep.
90s. And all this outcrop stone on tons of these properties around here. This stuff was used like crazy, and it's just a little bit weaker limestone. It fractures a lot. Moisture gets in there. It's still a beautiful stone, but not nearly as dense as the Wisconsin
Yep.
Fond du Lac. So really, really happy with that improvement for these staircases and these little teeny walls here to, and you know, obviously we brought in some beautiful boulders to tuck into those staircases there, and I love the way these staircases turned out.
So sweet.
Yeah, so sweet. I really like one little feature about this staircase while we're here. Whenever doing a stone staircase, I always like to start with a big fat stair at the bottom, sometimes even 2 steps
Yep.
put together, and then work your way up. It just looks a lot more finished, a lot nicer. And I'm always measuring back. I go with about 16, 18
Yep.
inches, sometimes up to 20 for my tread width there. And then at that point, I'm measuring the width of the stone step to get the face width of my next stone. So at 20 inches back here, I measured this distance from here to figure out which stone we were gonna grab next and work our way on up. So always looking for stones that have a little bit of a taper ideally, so that we can kind of shrink up into that walkway size up there and everything. And this one worked out really well. They don't always work out quite as perfectly, but both of these look really, really nice in the way they taper up. Again, we tiered out these walls. This is also out of Fond du Lac, but these are typically sold as patio stone or stepping stones through a garden, but we used them as wall stone here. A lot of cutting to get this to fit in, you know, really nice and tight like that, but really looks sharp.
It's a nice finish look.
Yeah, it
it's
looks
a really
sweet.
nice finish look.
That wall looks really, really, really nice. A lot of annuals in these beds. The owners love their color, love their proven winners, and that color is just going to be popping. Again, all this stuff was just planted yesterday, so in another 2-3 weeks, these annuals will really start filling out, and they'll have quite a show here to enjoy, you know, all summer long at the cottage on the shores of Lake Charlevoix, close to Lake Michigan. Anyway, it's kind of a chilly evening, and so it's time to sip on some bourbon and call it a day. But I hope you guys enjoyed this little tour of this cool little landscape that Kevin and I put together last year. It's fun to come back and do a little site visit here and check in on some jobs here with Kevin in Charlevoix. Please do stay tuned, subscribe, click that bell and everything so you can catch up with us on lots of really cool garden tours here, there, everywhere in between. We got all kinds of stuff coming your way. So stay tuned. We'll see you guys all in the next video.